evening and welcome to the Speedway Tavern. I'll explain what's going on. It seems that Mike's got a bit stuck in traffic, so we're going to sort of fill in, aren't we, Matt? We're going to pretend
we'll fill in the gaps.
We're going to fill in the gaps and that, like. So I suppose, I mean, there ain't much been going on at Wolverhampton, so maybe
it's been quite a few days.
Maybe we can talk a bit about Wolverhampton. What's been going on?
Plenty, isn't there? New league champions.
Yeah,
New league champions, a fabulous achievement.
So going back, say, just 4 or 5 weeks ago, would you have said?
I thought there was a chance.
Yeah.
I thought there was a chance.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Ty Woofington signing really was probably the final touch that it needed.
Yeah.
The form had been okay prior to that. We had that defeat against Bellevue back at the end of July. Eunice Kilmaccorby obviously was still in the team then. He left after that meeting, and Ty came in. And really there, I think Wolves were pretty much, well, not guaranteed to play place, because I think at the time the change was made, Wolves were actually out of the top 4. But
so you can't. So you're attributing, the win with Ty.
No, I don't want to.
You say it's a major part. Then
he's played a part. He's probably not been as his form has probably not been as great as maybe some people would have expected. I don't really want to attribute all of it to Ty, because it's been a real team effort. I think everybody's contributed. I think the last time we were together, actually, we just had the first leg of the semi-final, and we were 12 points down against Poole. And to pull that back, admittedly against a depleted Poole side, but nonetheless it was a great effort to pull that back and beat Poole by 20 points at home to go into the final. Having said that, I still probably just expected Bellevue to have a bit too much for Wolves in the final, but again, the performance at Munmore Green to beat Bellevue by 18 points on a very vociferous night, a very, really, really good atmosphere at Munmore. That's probably one of the best atmospheres I've known at Munmore Green for a long, long time. But to beat Bellevue by 18 points, to take to the National Speedway Stadium, where of course Birmingham Wolves did well earlier in the season. Tough first half of the meeting in the second leg, but managed to steady the ship a little bit and really with some mature riding, get over the line and win and bring the league title back to the Black Country.
I'll just explain to Stan. Yeah, no, it is a semi-panel. But Gio will be here any minute now. Actually, he was car pulling up, I'm sure. Stan said, well done to Wolves. They did it when it mattered, but it didn't win the league. It's that old chestnut, isn't it?
Well, it is the old chestnut, but I suppose at the same time you could argue that everybody knows the rules at the start of the season. I do think there should be something presented to the team that finishes top. I think there is in rugby league. I think they don't
they have the Challenge Cup and the
I think they're presented with the Shield, aren't they, for finishing top of the regular standings?
Yeah.
But of course the league championship is then decided in those playoffs. So that's something that I think probably should be looked at. Bellevue. Bellevue were fabulous all season. Kept their whole team for the whole season. Yeah. And I hope it doesn't detract too much from Bellevue, because they've had a great season. Moving to a new fantastic venue, superb racetrack.
Yeah.
Obviously, it started slowly, of course, for them, but I think that's all been forgotten now.
Any sour grapes at all from the Bellevue crowd?
There's been 1 or 2 suggestions made on forums.
Yes, I had seen that, but I was waiting for you to say.
First of all, I would say I would love to have been at Bellevue for the second leg, but unfortunately I just couldn't get the time off work. So I was reduced to being an armchair fan for the evening.
Yeah.
I've had to get a new car because I've worn it out.
Oh, there's a dog.
Go on, out. Come on. We don't do like come as here. So
there you go. I'll tell you what we'll do. We're going to play a really quick song, and we'll be back in 2 seconds.
Gone by, we make our way. to the values of the past, the ones that we thought would always last. Situations vacant, too few to choose. So it is written, so shall it be done.
Are you back then?
I didn't know I'd gone, to be honest.
Oh,
but
yeah. So what
yes,
do you
I'm back.
You went years ago, didn't
Yeah,
you?
yes. It's. I have to say, I've just walked into the studio and it's a bit of a sickly place at the moment. A smile on his face.
Yes, I know. We've just been talking about
Dear
it.
me.
You can carry on with the conversation if you like.
So, what happened? Come on.
Well, Wolves won the league.
Yes.
Next.
I have to say, because our situation is the Bellevue situation, Birmingham's situation is the Bellevue. You understand what I'm saying?
You
Top
feel
of the
sympathy
league.
for Bellevue?
I feel sympathy for them. They finished top of the league at the end of the season and then lost the league.
I don't recall Bellevue showing us much sympathy when they nicked the league off us in '93, so I think I'll restrain from giving them.
Well, I don't
sympathy.
imagine if Eastbourne nicks the league off us that they will show us sympathy, and I wouldn't imagine if it was the other way around.
It's about being professional at the end of the day, you know. What, as I was saying before, everybody knows the rules at the start of the season. Everybody knows the rules at the beginning of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So, as I said, for me, there should be some sort of award for the team that finishes top of the league, as they do in rugby union. They have a shield, I think, for the team that finishes top of the standings, and then the playoffs. But no, to beat Poole and Bellevue, that's probably the two best sides in the division in the playoffs.
And fairly convincingly, really. I mean, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, certainly the Poole one. I mean, Poole were under strength, admittedly, but it was about doing a professional job, and you just sensed right from the early part of the meeting that it could be done, and of course it was done. And then to get an 18-point lead against Bellevue in the first leg, beyond anybody's wildest dreams, bearing in mind that Bellevue have got riders who ride well at Monmore Green.
Yes.
And they'd already won at Monmore by 12 points a few weeks earlier.
Rules don't make the right decision, Matt, but well done anyway, said Stan.
Well, yes.
Thank you, Stan.
Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously with Stan there, and obviously I'm worried about the forthcoming two finals. We've got one against Eastbourne, the other most likely against Eastbourne, because there's no doubt about it that we, by far and away, are the best team in the league.
Well, I think the results suggest that.
Yeah.
They won defeat all season, admittedly against Eastbourne. But I've got to say, all of those riders in the Wolves team were heroes at Bellevue. First of all, I would say it was a brilliant meeting the second leg. There was some fantastic racing.
Right.
Would have loved to have gone, but I couldn't get the time off work, unfortunately, so I had to watch it at home. But Freddie Lindgren, fantastic. Probably one of the best performances I've seen Freddie give for a number of years. Max Clegg got the crucial point in heat number 12. Carl Howarth, again, crucial points in heat number 12. Sam Masters, solid. Jakob Torsell rose to the occasion when it mattered. Ty Woofington, in the face of a lot of provocation from the Bellevue fans, I thought did well as well.
Okay, what sort of provocation are we talking about?
Well,
I presume this would be allied to his decision not to ride for Team GB, or is it just?
I think in fairness, from talking to people who've been there, they did seem a concerted effort, not just from the Bellevue fans, but from the Bellevue announcer to try and provoke a reaction out of Ty. But he let his performances on the track do the talking. There's one man, of course, I've left out, and I think perhaps appropriately, that's Peter Carlson. Fantastic way to bow out.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, he's been a brilliant servant.
He was superb on the Wednesday at Bellevue. Probably won us the meeting, to be honest.
And is that it now? He's retiring. Is that the?
Well, he's certainly retiring from British Speedway. I don't know whether he's going to ride in Sweden, but he was quite specific in saying that is the last time that I'll ride in the Elite League. Just to, as everybody knows, I like a stat. So just to prevent a few stats, debut for Wolves, 15th of June 1990, ironically away at Bellevue. 584 appearances, that's a club record, 5,966 points, 405 of them bonus points, so that's 6,371 altogether. 25 full maximums, 41 paid maximums, 4 league titles, 1 knockout cup, 2 premierships, 1 elite shield and 1 gold cup. That's not a bad haul.
It's not a bad,
not a bad haul now.
Is it? No, not at all.
No, and the term legend is overused, isn't it?
I'm sure any moment
in
now
sports.
Webby's going to give him a round of applause for that. But,
Sorry.
Not on the ball, is he? So.
What did you say? That's enough. Not too much. Not too much.
No.
The word, the term legend is overused, but Peter Carlson is a legend at Wolverhampton.
I think, yes.
And rode in the Olympic. Obviously, great one for Jakob Torsel, but I think most of us were on Peter Carlson for his last appearance at Monmouth. And I think fittingly won his last heats with a move down the Carlson corridor, which he's made famous over the last 20 odd years.
Yeah.
And a superb standing ovation for him when he did his final lap.
That's nice to say.
Yeah, and it is the end of an era, because I think back to when I started watching Wolves in the early 90s, he was the last link really on the track. So I've sort of grown up on the terraces while Peter Carlson's the whole time that Peter's been.
He's going to be the
with
person
club
that you always look back on. He'd be the person.
Yeah, well, of course. I mean, obviously you got Peter and his brother Michael. Of course, Michael's announced his retirement as well now. So. And obviously before that you had Ronnie Corrie and Sam Ermolenko, but there's been some fantastic servants to Wolves over the years. But
so I have a question for you. I mean, you got to about halfway through the season, and it looked a little bit as if the wheels were falling off Wolves. So starting to get a few results that perhaps they shouldn't have been.
A couple of disappointing away results, I think.
Leicester was one, wasn't it? I think, and but all of a sudden, somebody screwed the wheels back on, basically. Did you put that down to Ty Woffington?
Well, I don't want to put the whole credit on Ty, to be honest, because it's been a team effort. In fairness, I don't think his performances have been quite as brilliant as people thought they were going to be. It did take him a little bit of time to get himself dialed back into the track. There's been other riders all the way through the season that have chipped in with crucial scores at the right time.
But he seemed to turn things round just at the time.
I think it did galvanise. It certainly galvanised the crowds, because I think the crowds have been better since Ty came back into the side. But yeah, it's been, as I say, it's been a team effort. And when you think, this time 12 months ago, I was reading on the Wolves website that the club had cancelled the presentation evening because nobody was in the mood to celebrate after such a disastrous season. It's a complete different story this year. There's going to be plenty of celebrations, of course.
We'll come on to the Olympic, no doubt a minute. Good evening to Stan, who's just said good evening to me. I have to say sorry to everybody, by the way, but I can't do anything when there's about 3,000 cars in front of me that aren't moving. There's nothing I can
personally,
do.
I think that's a poor excuse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
We have provided a helicopter free of charge.
Have you really?
Yeah.
It didn't. Why didn't?
no petrol,
Or pilots, or rotors to come to.
Well, actually, helicopter.
It's actually still in the shop, so
Yeah.
Poor excuse.
Stan says Peter Carlson Premier League 2017. I wonder. He can't ride Premier League. Can he? His average is going to be too high anyway. Surely.
I think in thinking of, when you look back on Peter's time, there's been times when I think you thought maybe that's the last we've seen of him. I thought last year was the last we'd seen of him,
Yes,
which would have been a shame. Which, looking back, it would have been a shame if he'd finished on such a low. But this time he's actually made the announcement that he's not riding over here, and he's already in the process of planning a farewell meeting for the start of next year. So I think that's it now for Peter in the UK.
So.
And what better way to go out than to win the league title?
Absolutely, you can't. Well, yeah. It's totally stop smiling. It's just disgusting. So, looking back on the Elite League season as a whole, I mean, a lot of criticism about the Elite League, a lot of criticism about the way it's set up. Obviously, the fast track rider is it's a complete mess, really, the way it worked or didn't work. But looking at it from the lowly bottom of Speedway in the National League, it looks quite a successful season for the Elite League. as a whole, and perhaps Sky. The legend is that they always want Paul to win, but I would think that they've enjoyed the season. There's been some good racing, and
there's been some good racing in the Elite League this year. It's been a fairly competitive league, with the exception of Leicester, who showed one or two glimpses, but I think they were always going to struggle with the team they put together. I think same with Coventry as well. Interestingly, because Gary Havelock's now left Coventry, so
I heard that. Yes,
it's going to be interesting to see who takes over the reins of Brandon next year. Yeah, it's been a good season for Elite League in terms of racing. I think there's definitely a lot of things that do need to change with the fast track and rider availability and the fixture list, which is still far too haphazard for me. Far too many gaps in the season. It'll be interesting to see what decisions made on in terms of Wolves and Cradley sharing Monday night meetings, or whether that's viewed as a success by the promotion, because I think it's. I don't think anybody has really. I don't think anybody enjoyed it at Birmingham last year. In fairness.
Yeah, I mean it's. Well, we'll come on to we certainly will come on to Cradley Birmingham in a moment. There are some important meetings going on tonight, of course, particularly obviously in the Premier League. And a meeting of which we've got a bit of interest in, which is Ipswich against Somerset, the Premier League playoff. My understanding is that Daniel Hume's going to have a skid after the meeting tonight, so we'll be interested to see how that goes. But the score at the moment is Ipswich 14, Somerset 16. Blimey, that surprises me. 51-69 to Somerset. At the moment on aggregate. Danny King's won one race, Ben Barker's had a second, Nico Cavati's had a second and a paid second. It looks like it's theirs, doesn't it? Somerset do it again. They do it every year, don't they? So. And Danny King had a new track record.
Yep,
that's impressive.
5.8.
That's impressive because that track record's an Elite League track record, of course.
And then you look at it in the next race, 58.8. So obviously.
Okay, well, we'll have a look, see if there's any more meetings going on as well. We'll set Webby up on that.
I'll get that sorted.
Okay, so I think it's time to talk about. So obviously, when we start the show, I normally have a little sort of diatribe at the beginning, and I didn't get the chance to say it, so I'm going to say it now.
Okay.
So, are you all sitting comfortably? Then I will begin. Once upon a time, in the olden days, a team from Birmingham raced with hope in their supporters' hearts. None more so than a young lad who had red and yellow coursing through his veins, or even coursing through his veins. Cursing, interesting. Every season, this young lad made the trip with his team to the mythical land of Dudley to begin battle with some heathens. No quarter was asked, no quarter was given, but the result was always the same. Birmingham always emerged from this bruising altercation soundly beaten. But no matter, because at another point in the season, those heathens made the trip to the wonderful land of Birmingham, and battle was again resumed, and once again hope resounded in this young lad's heart. Once again, this hope was soundly removed. But last Monday...
You enjoyed that, I think, didn't you, sir?
I did, yes. Last Monday, this all changed. Last Monday, Birmingham, not for the first time this season, soundly beat the Cradley Heathens and took them out of the league so that we reached the playoffs. And I just couldn't help but think I would love, because that young lad was me, of course, I would love to get into a time machine right now and go back to that lad in the 1980s and just put my hand on his shoulder and just whisper in his ear, "It gets better." So, was you there Monday?
I didn't go Monday.
You didn't go. Oh, I tell you something, you missed a cracking meeting. It really was. It was a really, really hard-fought meeting. The best race for me, and there was three really good 3 really good races.
That's 4.
That's 4. I know. I never could count numbers. They're a thing. Which was, we had Tom Perry against Tom Perry and Jack Smith against Max Clegg and another rider who was never going to, one of their riders that lost the match. Now Max Clegg had already been beaten, of course, by Danny Ayres in the first race, but he's pretty deadly round that place, really, Max Clegg, particularly at that level. So I really wasn't expecting a great deal from that race. Out the gate they went. Tom Perry and Max Clegg fairly level, but Tom Perry squeezes past him. Lo and behold, Jack Smith, not far behind, just squeezes past them coming out of the second bend, and there you've got Tom Perry and Jack Smith side by side. We was half expecting Tom Perry to team ride, but he decided not to, and I think it was the right decision in the context of the match because we were in front and that was Max Clegg behind. I think in the context of the match he made the right decision, which left the inexperienced Jack Smith to fend off Max Clegg, and he did that for about a lap and a half, 2 laps, something like that, when finally Max Clegg managed to get past him. But we all thought, good on you, because you've kept him off Tom, and Tom's going to win, and we're going to get a 4-2 for a heat that we was expecting a 3-3, if we're honest. But that wasn't enough for Jack Smith. He dive bombed up the inside of him and got in front of him, went wide, cut off his Max Clegg's path, stopped his momentum, and we got a 5-1. And that's the loudest I've heard Brummies supporters at an away match for a very, very, very long time. The atmosphere was brilliant. The racing, there was two more great races with Ayres, Perry, Clegg and Morris in Heat 13 and 15. Very, very closely contested. Both of them turned into 5-1s for Cradley. But, brilliant racing. There was something on the BSF before the match to do with, us Brummies supporters had better be careful because we know how Cradley Heathens fans react to not losing. The implication being obvious.
They don't like it up them, do they?
That's exactly the. Well, I could. Why use?
His wife's over
there. Why use 20 words when 4 will do? Yeah. You said font.
I did say font. Yeah.
Okay. Which I didn't think was justified because, you get the odd 1 or 2, but we've been beating Cradley since we've gone into the National League, and by and large they're taking it okay, I think.
Taking it on the chin, so.
Yeah.
And there is a few of them, a few odd 1s or 2s, isn't there?
Yeah. Well, exactly. Exactly. So I thought that comment was uncalled for, and I got to say that when we won the thing, they were fine. There was no animosity. That they didn't like it. They're not supposed to like it, But it was fine. It was okay. There was nothing, as far as that I'm aware of, nothing that I've heard about. They applauded our riders when they came out.
What?
They
applauded our riders?
Yes, they applauded our riders.
They applauded them.
Also, their riders came out and applauded the Birmingham supporters.
Yeah.
The Cradley riders came out and applauded, which I thought was very nice. And we all applauded them. So it was all
loving.
No, because they're Cradley heathens, I hate them. But
so I was going to say, I thought you were going to come in with a green and white scarf.
No, you're going to have to wash your mouth out with soap and water now. Goodness me. So yeah, but it's respect. That's what it was. It was respect. They wanted to beat us desperately. Yeah. We wanted to beat them desperately. They had no hope, no chance. And it was nice, like I said in my thing, nice for that boot to be on the other foot. Long may that continue. So yeah. So I guess thoughts have to turn now. So, Stan says he disagrees with Jay. Sky want excitement and subscriptions. The Elite League is what's wrong with the home sport, in my opinion.
Home sport? Does that mean whole sport?
With the home sport. So with
British Speedway.
British Speedway, in other words. I
We
agree.
need- we
I
need
agree,
the-
and I
we
don't
need the
agree.
EL, don't
I
we?
don't think the Elite League is the only thing that's wrong with British Speedway. I think it needs a restructuring from the ground up. Lots of things about it that are wrong. Fast track riders is wrong. The way it's done, I think fast is a good idea. It's just done wrong.
There's problems in all three leagues.
Yeah, it's the same old story, isn't it? With Speedway, they have good ideas, they never implement them properly.
Yeah.
It's nearly there, but not quite. So yeah, but I think that's possibly a conversation for another show.
Yeah.
But certainly a conversation that I want to have. Where was I going? So it was So we need to look ahead now, and we're going to talk about the Olympic in a bit. And I guess if we've got time, we'll need to talk about who's possibly going to be world champion. For goodness' sake,
I think we know who's going to be world champion, don't we? So
yeah, I think we do. But yeah, we'll come on to that. There's no doubt, is it, that the two toughest matches of our season are the next two toughest matches. You know, you can't pick this, and you could even see that we might take the Knockout Cup, and they might take the league, or vice versa.
Yeah.
It's that close. It's a shame it's happening so late in the season. If there's rain-offs and stuff, it's going to be difficult, isn't it? It's really, really going to be difficult. But
chancing them on really leaving it as late as they have.
I'm just going
They can't do a lot about it, but
they can't. Well, I mean, Graham Drury firmly lays the blame of this on Eastbourne, and you can see why. I've had a look at their fixture lists. Not one single match in August. You can't. You know, it's just can't do it, can you? It's ridiculous. Stan said Cradley are not Cradley anymore, though they have a team and a track in Wolverhampton. They are not and never will be Cradley until they get a track, which will not happen.
I thought there was talk.
Not a lot of positives. Not a lot of positives there. But I will say this: as far as I'm concerned, their supporters think they're Cradley.
Yeah.
I think they're Cradley, and we beat them, and nobody's taking it.
And what colours are they playing? The colours
green and white. I don't think they play. I think they ride, but we'll let you off.
Can
with
Shades
that
of
first
74 happen? GA?
play your tape. I know what he's talking about. I have got a tape from the 74 Knockout Cup final.
yeah.
It's very interesting. Can it happen again? Well, yeah, obviously it can happen. You know, we're basically 4 matches away from it happening. 2 finals. So yes, it can happen. But there's no. I think this is going to go right down to the wire. I think both matches will go right down to the wire, and it's all going to hinge. Look, tape exclusions. Tom, please settle for second and don't fall off. Please, Mr. Perry. You know, when that happens, that's happened. It's really, but by the same token, you want to see a rider trying. I can't call it. I obviously want Birmingham to win. You have to say they're favourites given the season that they've had. We're going to be almost a full team. Sort of feels like a full team. 6 riders and a guest. We seem to have had the whole season. No, that's not true. A lot of it's going to depend on who we pick as a guest. Mm-hmm. Who rides Eastbourne well? I think James Shanes rides rides. And I think we're allowed to use him now, aren't we? They're out of the playoffs.
Ian said that Eastbourne's track will win the day.
Okay, do you know what? I know why. I'm not right. Okay, let's just stop that talk right now.
It'll only win the day if you think it's going to let you win.
Yeah, exactly. Look. I understand what people are saying about the track. I even agree with it to an extent. This is why I don't like playoffs, because it does give tracks with a big home track advantage a bigger advantage in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Unless you've got 2 tracks with big home, this is why I've always said that any tactical substitute rule, which we don't even have this year in the National League, but any tactical substitute rule should only be available to the away side to combat home track advantage. That's what it should be there for. Makes it less Mickey Mouse, in my opinion. Stan says, if Hume comes back, will it weaken the team? It really depends on what sort of form he's in. If he comes back on the same sort of form that he was in before, no, I'll strengthen the team, because he is pretty much our number one. So, you know, just fingers crossed that tonight, and that this business of it being late in the season has actually played into our hands a little bit. Yeah, because I think a guest and so 7 riders, a guest and our riders is going to be stronger than a guest and ride replacement. I think, you know. Brummies should pick a guest that will not get tapped up. I'm ever so sorry, Stan. I don't understand what you're trying to say there. Perhaps you could try it in a different way.
We should pick a guest that will not get tapped up. Oops, sorry, matron.
I think I see what he's saying.
Is he implying?
He's implying. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a
yeah.
big thing. Do you?
Nah.
No, I don't think that's. There are many ills with Speedway, but I think that's probably not one of them. I certainly hope not. No, I think Hume coming back potentially strengthens the team. We can always use. It means that we can use reserves where we want to use them a little bit more than just in the rider replacement role, which we've been using them. Reserves are what's going to win us or lose us the match. Yeah. Well, it won't lose us the match, but it certainly win us the match. Actually, if I can get you to do a bit of work, Webby,
God.
you go to the BSPA site and pull up the green sheet averages for Eastbourne, because I think I'm right in saying that if it wasn't for our 2 reserves, they'd have the 2 best reserves in the league. So they're not mugs, like some of the reserves that our riders have to race against. But then again, Jack Smith's beating the not likes of Max Clegg at Wolverhampton, using the track to do it as well. That was wonderful. We'll have a look at their averages in a moment. So yeah, go to the National League and pull up the averages. That's it, right at the bottom. There you go. So that was good radio, wasn't it?
Fantastic. Yeah.
But of course, the big worry is that we've done all this work and we lose it. Now, okay, I was talking about the track. Let's not have any talk about their track beating us now. I know that's at the back of everybody's mind, it's certainly at the back of mine, but could you imagine if the riders approached that thinking, well, this track's going to beat us? They're not going to try anywhere near as hard. You can't have that attitude. You can't have that
Think
attitude.
positive thoughts, not negative ones.
Yeah, you've got to, and maybe it'll beat them.
Yeah.
You know, if they're inexperienced as well, with the exception of Adam Ellis, of course. I think you just let Adam Ellis.
Am I clicking on one of these?
Right, yes, you are. The very latest
That one?
Which is that one? There you go. Where do we get them from?
I don't know.
Running radio, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
There it's gone. I was just saying just while it's loading, but there we go, it's loaded now.
Okay, so we go down to Eastbourne. I want to have a look at their. There we go. There you are. So they're outside. They've got Luke Harris and Charlie Powell. So 380 and 405. So they've got above the 3-point average that nobody else seems to be able to do. Okay, so we'll have a look at their averages. Go through their team. So Adam Ellis 10.93. I think basically you hope he falls off in one of his races. Not hoping him in any injury, by the way. Just a nice little slide to give us a. It would be wishful thinking, basically. Jake Knight 8.54. I don't remember him doing particularly well.
Well,
on our track.
Well, I should be going blind to this meeting because I didn't. The only team I haven't seen in the league are Eastbourne because I wasn't there when they.
I think Georgie Wood is a really good rider. I think the big danger for us is Ellis Perks.
Oh yeah, without shadow of a doubt.
I think that's the big danger for us. It depends on which Ellis Perks turns up. I do. Well, I'm not going to say it because he might be listening. I don't want to give any. I don't want to give any motivation to anybody. Gary then we get into their weaknesses, which is Gary Cottam, Luke Harris, and Charlie Powell. You got 474, and I'm looking at the wrong. Yeah, 470, 380, and 405 on their averages. So, yeah, they're not. They've got a weak tail, but the tail isn't as long as many of the other teams that we've raced against.
That's right.
Which is why I think that Daniel Hume is so important. Okay, gentlemen, I would like your ideas on who's going to win the Knockout Cup and who's going to win the league. Out of, we're presuming it's going to be Eastbourne in the Knockout Cup. It could still be Cradley, of course, but it's pretty unlikely, you would think. And all the people out there, give us your predictions. So, Webby, the font of all knowledge, who's going to win the Knockout Cup?
I'm going to go for Brummies. Of course I am.
Who's going to win the league?
I can see the eyes going at me now.
Hey!
I'm going to go for Brummies.
Okay, Matt?
There you go. Why not?
Which one first?
Go the Knockout Cup, then the important one.
With your head?
Brummies will win the league,
Mm.
but I don't think they'll win both. I think Eastbourne will take the Knockout Cup.
Okay. I think if we win the Knockout Cup, we win the league.
Yeah.
They'll be demoralised.
Yeah, I think that's difficult
That's why
for
that
them.
Knockout Cup is going to be
Very
people
important.
seem to be dismissing the Knockout Cup, but that's going to be probably more important now than the.
It's a
than the
big
league
yeah.
was.
It is important. We win the Knockout Cup, we win the league. We lose the Knockout Cup. I don't think our lads get as demoralised as their lads do. I think our lads go right. We're going to have them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my and what I've seen.
Maybe Craig could do Brum a favour on the track at Eastie.
Well, I love it because it would be great to win the Knockout Cup against Eastbourne. That would be a fantastic against Cradley. That would be a fantastic final, and obviously nowhere near as far to travel. Don't see it happening though.
I don't see Cradley getting past Eastbourne.
No, I don't see it happening.
Ian's got the Eagles to win both, but
Okay.
it'll still be all the matches home and away. He'll still be at all the matches home and away. Well done.
Well done. But
Good stuff.
the thing that you got to say about our team is time and time again, that on those crucial moments, those heat 13s against Cradley. Okay, not so much this one, but the last meeting, when you think, well, they're going to get a 5-1 here, they find some way of taking that 5-1 off them. They find some way of time.
the game.
Yeah, time and time again, like Jack Smith beating Max Clegg on Monday. Time and time again this happens. So I'm going to say both of them because I couldn't possibly live with myself if I said anything else, if I'm honest. So, but it's going to be.
And one meeting will be a draw, according to Stan.
That would be something else, wouldn't it?
Then a run off.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be it might be Golden and Heats, won't it? So
I don't know. I don't know what
it's
the.
Golden Heats in the Elite League and in the Premier League, but I don't know what they.
How does that work? I don't understand that.
I think they rerun the first 3 heats of the meeting.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Well, if we can get, because we win the second heat if we get a 3-3 in the first heat,
Yeah.
don't we? 9 times out of 10 we win that second heat, so that would be exciting. Ooh, I can feel it going now. So guys, the other thing to say is let everybody get down there. Let's really. I know Eastbourne's a long way away. I'm going to try and get to it. I'm not sure whether I can, but everybody get down there. Support the lads.
It would be great to see Perry Barhaven, wouldn't it? Really?
Wouldn't it? Yeah, absolutely. And particularly we were, and of course we've got a history of getting into finals and then folding at that on that last hurdle. It's happened to us time and time and time again after
This season, of course,
2007.
it's been
This season it's been different because we had that Kent. We went to Kent. I think was it 45 or something like that. It wasn't. No, it was 10 points in front, wasn't it? And people were, I think we can do it. And we flipping increased the lead. So this team is. We're never going to see the likes of this team again. I don't think in my lifetime. It's been a bit special. Let's just get out there and support them. And we'll never. This team won't be together next year, whichever league we're in. I don't know what our averages are currently coming in at. If we can have a look at that, we will. We started at 42. And we're at 51.84. So.
That says it all.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Anyway, I need to calm down now.
Just quickly at Ipswich, it's 22-20 in favour of Ipswich.
Okay.
On the night,
Couple
it's
left from it,
73-59.
How many heats have gone?
And we're on. There you go. So
Heat 8, sorry.
Heat 8. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and Coles has. Oh, that's not good for Ipswich. Okay. Okay. Well, that's looking like at Somerset's then, doesn't it? In a way, that's positive because if Daniel Humes comes through his thing unscathed, don't really want him riding for Ipswich this season.
Ian says we are the best team in the National League, emphasising we are.
Absolutely.
I don't think there's any doubt about that.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. And if Eastbourne do win the thing, it'll be a travesty. It will. And why don't like playoffs? But Matt can't agree at the moment. So
the one thing you need to say about playoffs is they're fantastic to win. They're the worst means. I mean, I've been on the end of Bath losing. I remember we lost the final against Poole in 2004. It wasn't a nice feeling, but we've been in the other 3 finals we've been in, we've won them. So
yeah, I've never been on the centre green when we've won something. We've always won something when I've been a supporter, and it's been not at Birmingham.
Yeah.
I've never been on the centre green when we've won something. That's going to be different for me. So I'm looking forward to that. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Toes are crossed as well. Right, okay. Jason Doyle.
Oh, gutted for the guy. Absolutely devastated for him.
I am gutted, but having seen the crash, he's lucky. He's lucky to be alive. So yeah, that's the most important thing.
Obviously, without a shadow of a doubt. But the form he was in, I don't think there was any doubt he was going to win the World Championship.
He was going to win it, wasn't he?
Because I don't think Greg Hancock was able to keep any pace with him.
Yeah.
The crash itself, it was nothing to do with him. He was just going for the line, and unfortunately, that happened in front of him.
It's very difficult to get a season like that again, isn't it? When you're that.
You just hope that. Hopefully, he will get another shot at it, but you just wonder whether he's going to be one of these riders who gets
one shot. Yeah, I mean, you only have to look at
because the Grand Prix in the next few years are going to become very, very strong.
Yeah, you only have to look at Ty Waffenden, and last season, he was going to win it. He was sort of best rider, but this year, you don't get 2 seasons on the track like that, do you? Very rare, anyway, unless you're Tony Rickardson or something.
Hans Nielsen or Ivan Major, of course, who had 3 in a row. So.
Yeah, but that was a different format, wasn't it? Not over a whole, because that's the problem. You've got to keep that sort of form up over a whole season, or the majority of a season, let's say. So gutted for him, but flipping heck, Greg Hancock, 46 years old, going to be world champion.
You're younger than Peter Carlson, so
yeah, and he's done that'll be his fourth now.
With the fourth
he's got most of it in his.
Will
40s,
he be the oldest ever?
Yes, but he's already the oldest ever. So he's had that record. He's broken
As
that
how old was Ivan Major when he won his world championships?
His sixth one, I think he was 39.
39, so that was But 46.
Brilliant.
That gives us all hope, doesn't it?
Well, yeah.
Well, apart from you.
Maybe some of us.
Stan says the second. We're going back to. Really feel like we haven't done Wolverhampton justice, by the way, because they've won the Elite League.
It'd be obviously nice to get 2 league championships,
wouldn't it? Yeah,
fantastic.
In the Midlands.
Second leg at Perry Bar will be massive. Expect a lot of Midland Speedway fans attending for their final season fix. That's probably true, actually.
I think there will be.
Yeah.
There was quite a lot of. I did see a few Birmingham fans at the first leg of the player final.
Right.
Monmouth. So
yeah. I mean, also everybody knows. I think everybody knows this is going to be a closely contested meeting. I'm getting butterflies already. But we'll be watching the match Cradley against Eastbourne very closely.
This is why
on Saturday.
At the end of the day, though, this is why the promotion, all the promoters.
Of course, you can't.
It's a nice little money spinner.
Of course, that's exactly right. And what you said, that these are the rules and you go into it. So there will be no complaints to me. Well, maybe it might be a few complaints from me about if Eastbourne win it. But I will loudly proclaim that we were the best team in the season, and we should have had some sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Recognition of that.
Well, I said that it's the same in the Elite League as well and in the Premier League. So.
Horrible way to lose the league. after being the best team by far. Did you hear that, Eastbourne? The best team by far. Anyway, let's go to Eastbourne and wipe the smiles off their faces, and then we can make it their return leg a celebration, can't we?
Oh yes,
that would be nice for that to happen with less pressure on the side, and we can just enjoy it and celebrate.
People at Eastbourne, of course, people will be watching Bob Dugard when he goes out onto the track and see what he's up to. So.
Yeah, I think there'll be few Birmingham fans down at Eastbourne. It's a terrible time to have it 6:30 on a Sunday.
Yeah,
down that far away.
Time, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's a long way to get to come back.
Yeah.
I can't believe that they've done it to discourage Birmingham fans. Why would they do that? It's money in the gates, isn't it?
Yeah.
So maybe there's the reasons that we don't know about, but it is not.
It's Eastbourne though, isn't it? Eastbourne Eagles, we do what we want.
Yes.
Then again, having it earlier gives you more time to get. You don't get back so late, I suppose.
Well, that's what I wanted earlier. I think it's
you'd rather it was a lot earlier than 6:30.
Well, it takes. It's like you're talking 4 hours to get back ready from Eastbourne. So it's doable, but you're going to be knackered for work the next day. And if you lose, that's the thing. If you lose, it takes 5 hours to get back. But
just a tiny update on Ipswich. It's now 25-23 in favour of Ipswich, 76-62 on the night for Somerset.
Well, they're nearly there, aren't they? Yeah, they're nearly there. We're up to heat 9.
Up to heat 9.
They're trying.
They are.
Very.
Yeah.
Right. So we've covered a lot of ground.
Do you know, Stan says you're sounding very nervous.
Yeah.
Already.
Stan, I was nervous about this very thing at the beginning of the season. And we had those first few matches and we suddenly thought, whoa, we've got a team here. I was nervous about it then because it's always... That's the nature of playoffs. They will be exciting matches.
I'll pick up on the point Stan's made there about Wolves and Crawley fans attending to support Eastbourne.
Implying again.
Eastbourne,
yeah.
I'm not sure that's true. Maybe Cradley fans might. I don't think there's the same animosity between Wolverhampton fans and Birmingham fans.
I don't think there's any need.
Between Wolves and Eastbourne, in fairness. So
right.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Yes.
There's no need. I mean, they've won the Elite League. Why would they feel?
Well, I don't know, but I mean, you're a Blues supporter. Would you ever? Yeah. So you understand now.
But don't Speedway supporters see the National League as a bit of a them down there type of league?
No, I don't. It depends, really. I think
it depends on the person. You got your Elite League snobs.
You do get Speedway fans that are a bit one-eyed about.
It's not real Speedway.
Their own team, but I mean, I've been pleasantly surprised by the quality in the National League. Sort of before Birmingham went in it, I always thought National League was just about 4 riders wobbling around.
Yeah, but, that was always the legend.
Seen some of it, obviously, but you do see some quality racing in that league.
Yeah, and I think
wish there were some more competitive meetings to watch at Birmingham.
Yes, well, we have, but that's been the nature of where we're at. That we've had to get used to what Eastbourne fans have been watching all these years. But getting the away meetings in as well, that's the thing. That's been the big thing. I really don't want to talk about that anymore. I'm getting more and more nervous the more I talk about it. So,
and by the way, I couldn't find another meeting that was going on. The Sheffield one's been postponed.
Okay,
and that was the only other one. I couldn't see any more meetings. I'm afraid.
Okay, well, there you go.
Get to that part of the season.
Yep.
Yeah, so.
Well, that's another worry as well, isn't it? Because it'd be nice to go to Eastbourne and in a way with a rain-affected track, because that always affects the home side more than the away side. But then you don't want it to happen when it gets to Birmingham. You want a good track with plenty of dirt on it, really. And I think the track's been good the past few weeks. Actually, they have put some extra shale on. I'm guessing in preparation for what's to come.
What was your crowd like in the last meeting?
I beg your pardon?
What was the crowd like at the last meeting?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. I mean, it was crowded. It was a semi-final. It was okay.
Bellevue was completely sold out for the second leg. So
Yeah.
yeah, so
That's good.
So plenty of people there to help Craig could pick his toys up. So
Still not a lot of local media publicity, I've got to admit.
There was. I know. Actually, we should give a big up to ITV, Central Television, because they actually put
ITV?
Yes, Central Television. They put. Okay. They
ITV?
Shut up.
Oh, sorry. ITV?
Can I kick him? Because they put a piece on about Wolverhampton winning the Elite League, and that's very, very unusual for Central.
It is, yeah.
It's normally BBC will put something up occasionally, but they won't. So I think Steve Clamp must have been on holiday.
Whereas in olden days it was always Central. I mean, if you go back to like
it was, wasn't it?
Yeah. With Bob. What's his face?
Bob Holness.
No.
Bob Carroll Geese. No.
Bob Warman.
Bob Warman. Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
Stan says the weather could also play a major part late October. Yeah, well, that's what we were just saying, wasn't it?
Yeah. Okay. We've practically come to the end.
We have. I had a truncated show for me, but we will be back next Thursday.
We will.
I'll either be crying or not. Who knows? We'll have some interviews as well, so looking forward to that. Take care, everybody. Congratulations once again to Wolves. And fingers crossed, get yourselves down to the bar on Wednesday and shout. I don't want anybody with a voice left at the end of the night. That's basically what I think. And let's make Perry Bar a fortress. Take care, everyone. Have fun.
Good night.
Good night.
Ta-ra.
Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. What do you need to know? Have a drink, have your say. All opinions here today. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Enjoy your stay. Michael, Matt, and Chris are here today. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Come and have your say.
So the talk show on srbradio.com.